Welcome back to AUSPAC. Welcome back to the AUSPAC 2022 exhibition floor. And this is another segment in the PKN podcast where we're recording live. And I'm joined by Craig Gilbert. And Craig, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Excellent. Now, Craig, you're with Process Partners.
Yeah, that's correct. So Process Partners are an independent engineering company working in the packaging and process industry. Yep. So we've been working a lot within this industry for a long time and coming to these shows for a long time. But this is the first time we've ever exhibited at this show, so it's a first for us.
Was it the fact it's been so long due COVID or...?
Well, I think that helps a lot. The fact that it has been so long, it's been a long time since we've been in person with people. I think as we were chatting earlier, in person, I think it's great to be able to catch up with people and talk to people one-on-one rather than via Zoom or in another format such as that. So it's really good to be able to catch up with people again.
Yeah, it is one thing of the pandemic. It's demonstrated to us that we can work remotely, but it's also improved and increased the value of events like this where we do actually get to come in, see devices, talk with people and have spontaneous chats in corridors and things like that.
Yeah. And you learn new things from people through that. You walk up and you talk to all these suppliers that are here and they've got some fantastic stuff on the stands, and just having those spontaneous chats because a lot of things have improved over the period of time and sometimes you miss it because we haven't been face to face for so long. So it's really good to have those little chats and say, hey, we've actually improved this over the last couple of years, and it's great to hear that and to see that again. So
yeah, and it's everyone's here, so you don't have to go around the country or the world to
Correct.
See things. So you can actually talk to the people face to face with their equipment right here, all in one concentrated space.
Yeah, exactly right.
So speaking of the fact that we're in a concentrated space and you're now exhibiting, what do you have at your stand?
So the main thing we talk about at our stand is really about how our engineering practices, we've really worked on how we do our engineering, how we ensure it's more cost effective, and how we really work at how we can help people easily from the get-go.
Okay.
So as part of that, we got this thing we call a gated engineering process. It's something that's pretty common in the industry, but the way in which we execute it gives us a real advantage in this industry. So we come in and we look at things at a really high level first off as a gate one, and that allows us to be really cost effective, but give our customers an idea to understand, well, what is the best direction to go for my business? How can I make sure I get the best payback on a project? What's some unique ideas or designs that we can come up with at a high level and actually say, okay, well, look, guys, this could be a really good example for how you can run things. So over the last 2 or 3 years, we've been doing a lot of work in this gated process with our customers, and we've come up with some fantastic, really good stories out of it. So probably a couple of examples if I can.
Yeah. Was just going to ask for examples.
So we work with a company called Kez's Kitchens, who are a biscuit and snack food manufacturer.
Cool.
Been a fantastic customer to work with, but we initially started with them a really high-level gate one where they said, hey, Craig, we want to do gluten and non-gluten products in our factory. The way in which they do it, they initially did it is they ran gluten products. They then did a massive clean the entire factory out. Then they had to do swab testing to make sure there wasn't a trace of gluten anywhere. And then they could run the next non-gluten products. This is really expensive, really hampered their production.
Yep.
So we came in and they said, hey, we just want to copy what we're doing here, but just put it over there. Just put another mixing area and just block it off so we can look at how we can mix some non-gluten products at the same time we're mixing the others. And we looked at that idea and we said, yeah, that's a good idea. We can do that. However, we looked at your whole factory and we said, do you know what? You do a lot of double handling here. You actually can do things a lot better and a lot cleaner if we can just reorganize this space a little bit better. So we then worked with them through gate one and then a gate two and a gate three to come up with some really good designs, which allowed them to have a really good flow through the factory and eliminated all their double handling and helped them create three separate bakeries within the same footprint, which increased their production by over 60% actually.
Without having to invest in new property and so on.
Yeah, exactly right. So they're able to stay in their existing property because they were like, how are we going to do it in our existing property, which is constrained? And we said, well, if you move things around, install some walls, get proper flow through your factory, and look at how you execute it. You can get it done really well. So that's been a really good project that we've worked on for a good couple of years, helping them, and we're still helping them now with new projects. And they're now in a position where they can really, they've been able to meet all their production goals because their production's ramped up through COVID and through the shutdown like everyone else in that retail space. So they've been able to do that without major investment and being able to meet their production goals at the same time. So it's been really good story.
So using their existing plant and so on, but in a much more efficient and more effective manner.
Yeah, exactly right.
Fantastic. So yeah, process improvement, but also I understand that you also work on processes that a company may never have done but needs to. For instance, I understand you've done a big relocation, and so the company in question has never done that before. They're not likely to do it again, so they're not going to have a lot of experience in that. So then turn to external groups such as yourself. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So we worked recently with Coca-Cola, and they've got a subset of Coca-Cola was Never Fail, where they produce large water bottles.
Yeah.
They had to move out of their Moorabbin plant where they shared services and they had a process and packing line, and they had to move to a new brownfield site. So we worked very closely on the initial design of that brownfield site as our gate 1 and gate 2, again using the same theory that we like to use. And then we actually quoted them on a turnkey to actually manufacture and install the whole kit and caboodle, as well as relocate their existing packaging line. So we're very fortunate to win that project. And just late last year and early this year, we've been executing that project.
Okay.
So that's been something that's really successfully done through our teams. We've had some really good project managers on site, such as Chris Lovejoy and Raman Barger, who've been running those projects. And we've been able to execute those in a really good time frame. And COVID's caused so many issues through that period, as you can imagine.
Yeah. Supply lines, access to people who are all out having to isolate. Yeah, it's impacted a lot of operations.
Yeah, really difficult. So we had some instances where we had so many people who were off ill as our welders that we were literally 1 week ahead of the COVID cycle. So at one point, I think there were 13 welders who were off sick with COVID.
Wow.
So, and we were just ahead of that curve. So we were just able to put everything in and get everything running. And I actually said to the Coke guys, if we executed this project 1 or 2 weeks later, it probably would have been 4, 5, 6 or 7 or 8 weeks later, because we just wouldn't have had the labor to do it. So we're really lucky.
Yeah, there is an element of luck to it. There's also the element of forward and contingent planning and all the things that go in that engineers and project managers love.
Exactly right. And we got some great project managers within our company, and that's what makes these sorts of projects happen.
Yeah.
Because they look at all these contingencies and extra planning, and they do that nth degree to make sure it all ends up right.
Yeah.
So
the old proper prior planning.
Yeah, exactly right.
The more you plan, the easier it is to continue. Yeah.
And for relocation of the equipment, for instance, on the packaging line, the planning we had to do was really extensive.
Yeah.
Because we had such a short time to relocate the equipment, and then we had to have a vertical startup on the other end. So we didn't have the luxury of time of saying, okay, we'll take a couple of weeks to get everything going. We didn't have that. It was, hey, we've got a shortage. We're going to have interstate freight while you relocate this line. So we want it done quick.
Yep.
We want this line relocated. We want it in place. We want it going. We want to start up day one.
Yep.
So our guys did a huge amount of pre-work to make sure that all happened smoothly.
Yeah, like a very small outage window, you might almost say.
Exactly right. So a very short period of time over the middle of Christmas, which was great for the guys. They love working through Christmas and New Year's.
Oh, yeah, everyone does.
And yeah, they were able to get it done. And, to give you an idea of how much planning was required, one of the equipment had glass tubes in it. So the guys literally, and if the glass tubes broke, which was very easy to do, we had to get parts which weren't available in the country. Plus, we had service techs that weren't available till much way after the shutdown. So we would have been in a lot of trouble. So the amount of care and precision that was taken in pulling that equipment apart and bringing it down separately and
Yeah.
I think I was on the back of a truck going about 30 k's an hour down the road all the way to the site. You know,
Wrapped in multiple doonas, so to speak. Yeah. Cool. Well, mate, it sounds like there's lots that your organisation, Process Partners, can do for the packaging and general factory environment. So you're down here at the show. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Oh, look, come visit us at stand E244.
Yep.
It'd be great to see you come past our stand, and hopefully we can talk to you about some of the other projects we've done in the past and see whether we can help you out at all into the future.
Fantastic. Well, Craig, thanks so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Cheers.